You are listening to the Built to Grow podcast.
All right, welcome back to the Built to Grow podcast. I'm your host, Tim Lyons. Yeah, that's me. In studio, as always, Scottsdale AZ HQ. Joined as always, again, by Randy Angston. What's up, fella?
Hey, buddy.
Hey.
It's nice. It's nice, sunny Scottsdale again.
We back, baby. We back.
It's like a lot of places summer already.
It's going to be 80 this weekend.
Wow.
83.
Wonderful. I'll jump in my pool.
Yeah.
I did the last 2 Februaries.
Pool parties.
Yes, soon. Let's go.
Let's go.
Vegas? What?
Everybody's invited that's listening to this show.
No, but you are invited to the Fitness Growth Summit coming May 21st and 22nd. winninggym.com/Scottsdale. Get your tickets now. They will be going up in price. We're about halfway through that first 25, so.
Unless they
may
have already gone up by the time you hear this. So
ooh, that's a good point.
Go double check that. winninggym.com/Scottsdale. We'll see you here. So this episode, well, we're going to talk about momentum and waves and things that happen that just seem to always happen this way for the last 12 years in business. And I've never really understood why these happen, but we know about them and we just go with them, right? And what I mean by that is it almost always comes in waves when it comes to cancellations or signups. And I don't know if this is true for anybody else listening, but for us, we'll get a wave of cancellations and then we'll get a giant wave of people signing up. And it's not because the marketing's turning on or off, and it's not because any one thing that happened in the gym, moving, family sick, all these
randomness.
They just show up in waves. And, in the beginning, I was like, God, this is the end of the world.
Try to fight it.
Yeah, we'd be like, now we just know it's part of the business. And I don't know what it is here. Maybe it's not the same for you guys. Maybe you do a steady, pace every month that you just get this consistent amount of signups every month and a consistent cancellations. And for us, it's never been that way. It's just strange. It's just like right now we're on a huge, and I'm knocking on wood, we're on a huge sign up spree.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't lost anybody this month.
Ooh.
And we've only signed people up, and we're signing people up, 2, 3, 4 a day right now into our higher level memberships. You saw the numbers the other day.
Yeah.
Average per sign up is $350 a month. I'm sorry, it's $349.90 per month. Whatever.
Let's get specific here.
Yeah. $350 a month per client signing up right now, 0 cancellations. I wish we have had some 0 cancellation months. Guys, you can have 0 sign up or 0 cancellation months when you have 50 people or less. That just,
it happens that way.
Yeah. 3% attrition is 1.5 people, and you beat it that month. You didn't have the 1, you had 0. So when you get 200, 300, 400 members, you're going to have cancellations.
And to your point earlier, there's a million things that it's not the gym specific. It's not something you guys did that caused it, right? Somebody moved. Fact of life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We can't stop people from moving, getting sick, all sorts of things. Those are going to happen.
Yep. Deaths. Yeah, unfortunately. So one of the things that, like I said earlier, we try to fight it in the past where we'd always get down in the dumps when these waves would come in, and then we would get this reverse wave and it would be all these people signing up. So knowing that, we stop worrying about it so much. We don't focus on it. We know that the next wave of people signing up is coming, and we don't get too comfortable when we have a big sign up wave, because we may have a bunch of cancellations coming up too. And again, I'm knocking on the wood on the table here.
I'll mention something, and I don't even know, I'm sure you recognize it, but I'll give you and Zach credit. When we came into the office a couple weeks, it's probably 2 months ago now, before one of the episodes we were going to do, we were talking about the other direction, right? When there was a number of those cancellations, and you're like, well, what can we do to kind of soften the blow? And your response was, let's outsell it.
Yeah, that was my response.
It was, we'll be fine. Let's go outsell it. And
outsell the problem.
Look where we're at.
Yep.
But that mentality, that mindset, let's not focus, because again, it's problem solution. Every business experiences these things. If you can sit here and you're going to focus on the problem, that's where you put all your energy and focus.
Almost like the problem amplifies.
You're making a mountain out of a molehill, right? Like it literally just becomes everything that you focus on. And then you're going to find things outside of that start to get affected. your performance in sales starts to take a hit.
Yep.
Your everybody feels it, right? And you got to find a way of mitigating that, getting your head on right, and focusing on the direction you need things to be going.
Yeah.
And so, consider that for your guys. Your situation are you focused on the problems? And as part of our coaching program, we're constantly talking about gym owners or with gym owners. When problems come up, it's like the world stops. Everything, I don't know how to make it one more day because of this problem.
It could sometimes feel that way.
Yeah. And you need to be able to understand, it's business. They come in waves. Things happen.
I heard somebody speak about this, and it hit me like it hit home. It was like the longer you're in business, the more battle scars you're going to get. So your tolerance for problems becomes better, right? Like you don't fall apart when one little thing happens because you've seen that before, or you've had 10 times worse things happen to you than this. So like, what are we really worried about?
And that's one of the benefits of paying a coach.
Yep.
Or a consultant, or bringing in somebody when you're trying to get to that next phase. It's really difficult sometimes to try and figure it all out on your own. That's why you go to somebody who's been there before, done the reps. They know what those problems look like and where the solutions are in them.
Yep.
And
they have an objective view.
They're not emotionally subjective. Yeah. They're exactly right. They're not emotionally charged in that situation like you are as the owner. Where everything is riding on your business, right?
Yeah.
But that's the waves.
The waves are crazy, and one thing, you kind of hit on a second ago. I always have believed that you can outsell most problems. Most problems are money driven, and sales is money driven. And if you just made more sales, you can outsell the problem. That's what we focused on, and we've way outsold that problem. That problem that you were talking about is when we had a coach leaving.
Yep.
We had a bunch of clients that were unsure of what they wanted to do next, and so we were getting some cancellations at the time. But yeah, I was like, you know what? We can do everything we can do to keep them, but like, let's outsell that problem. This was the conversation. It felt like, what is happening?
Yeah.
And I go, Zach, in 2-3 months, 6 months from now, we're gonna go back and laugh at that because this is nothing. We're making it too big. Let's just move on. And he was like, cool. So
it was fun. Like in the time, I mean, I don't spend a ton of time here.
Yeah.
Like in the 20 minutes that we were in the office all talking before the show, I mean, it was like a complete realization, right? Holy crap, everything is falling down around us.
Yep.
To walking out with smiles on your faces, confident that, all right, you know what, another day we're just going to go do what we know we do.
And that's the way it is. And that's what I want everybody to understand is, one, you can outsell most problems. Money-driven problems. If it's a delivery issue and systems in your gym, that's going to amplify your problems. If you put more people in your gym on a bad foundation, then yeah, that's probably not the best solution. But like if you're getting some cancels or the money's tight or anything, just go sell more. Just go do that. And really, the foundation of your business is the whole reason the book exists. The Built to Grow is the foundation of everything, and that's what the podcast is on. You know, the podcast is built to grow off the book, which essentially, you know, is a metaphor for another foundation, right? And so let's go back to momentum for a second. So for entrepreneurs, we are driven emotionally by momentum.
Oh, yeah.
And when you have a lot of sales momentum, you're happy. When things aren't moving in the right direction, you're sad. And it's not that you don't enjoy what you do. It's the momentum is really the key. So for example, here's a great example. When we have momentum, I double down, right? We press the gas. If you have a good campaign running, spend more, right? If we have something that's working, a hook, spend more, do more.
Google.
If we are doing well in our business, we decided to do more. So like last night, my wife came to me and said, "Hey, you know, you felt like in the middle of this $4 million real estate development you're in the middle of, you felt like it was a good idea to host a growth summit." And I was like, huh. And of course I thought it was a good idea, or else we wouldn't be doing it.
Yeah.
But it was like, what were you thinking? And to me, it hit me last night. It's like, I'm driven on momentum. As an entrepreneur, we want things to do. We want to be moving in the right direction. We want to like get stuff done.
Yeah.
And so I'm happy that we're doing the Growth Summit because it gives me more to focus on.
Yeah, and you know what I think it is too, as an entrepreneur, like there's that end, you have to be working towards something, you know, like just showing up and doing the day to day it doesn't feel like like there's work, like you're progressing, like there has to be that something, a goal, you know what I mean? You have to be working. And we talked about goal setting. And I think that, you know, that's another part of this conversation, you know, when you know your goals, that's when you're aware of that momentum, which direction things are going.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, you know, there are a lot of gym owners who just show up for work every day and they're not in charge. They don't have a destination in mind for what their business is, where their business is going. They literally show up to service their, you know, everything in their four walls and head home at the end of the day. And unfortunately, that's not how you should be running your business. You have to treat it like a business. Set some goals, work towards those. That's how you advance, move up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, you're absolutely correct. And speaking of goals, I think it's probably a good time to explain, like we, at the gym here, we look at revenue as the driver. Like that's our KPI. And we have something called Delta 4. Like that's our goal, is that we have to be Delta positive $4,000 per month. So what does that mean? That means in new revenue, reoccurring revenue, we want to be $4,000 in the positive, Delta 4. If you lose $1,000 in cancellations, you got to sell $5,000 in new memberships per month. That's reoccurring monthly revenue, $5,000, right? And so having that front of mind, we're always looking at that. And then sometimes if we have a bad month, we'll try to outsell it the next month to make up the difference so the Delta 4 stays on the average. And so if you can do a Delta 4, or maybe it's a Delta 3 for your business, you're going to win because you're constantly increasing the reoccurring revenue every single month. I don't care so much about the member count.
Sure.
Because we could lose a bunch of lower paying clients, 10 of those, and then we sign up 5, it's even. So it's like the number of clients to me isn't the driver, it's the Delta revenue.
Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, I mean, the revenue, like if you, with this business, you don't need 1,000 clients to make the revenue. You know what I mean? The semi-private model, we talk about it all the time. You've heard it. It is that sweet spot, right? So we're not focused on 30 clients every hour on the hour, every session. You know, it's not boot camp where we're just trying to pack the building. Mm-hmm. That's not the focus, you know? So, and I think that's a good point.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. It's and I would suggest you look at that too, because from the last episode we were talking about gross revenue. That's like your vanity metric, same as member count. Sure. I don't think the member count is as important as the revenue. Duh. You know what I mean? It's like, wait a minute. You know, you could have 5,000 clients paying $9 a month, you know, or, you know, 100 paying $450 a month.
You know what it does? It comes back to you end up being the busiest person out there. You know what I mean? And like, I would much rather be the successful, have my things together, enjoy what I do, than have to stress and worry because you're the busiest person out there, because you've got so many people to keep track of and worry about and things like that.
Yeah, and they're not paying much at all. Yeah. So something to think about. Waves, overcome them. Know they're showing up. If you don't, I would like to hear from anybody out there. Like ping me on Facebook or whatever, Instagram. Tim Lyons Jr. on Instagram, guys. If you haven't checked me out there, I got a whole 1,000 followers.
Yeah.
But I love to hear, like, hey, Tim, great episode, but I don't experience any waves in my business. I just, that's my own personal experience. I would assume that some people don't, but I just, it's always been that way for 10 years.
And have you found, you know, to speak to that, it's not the same kind of cyclical thing that follows a calendar, right?
No, it's just any given month. It's the strangest thing. Now, granted, when you have a coach leave, that
sure.
could throw some stuff off. And we talked until we're blue in the face of what we're done since then. But yeah, I mean, sure, summer for here, we do lose 30. We know 30% are gone, right? We just
they don't live here.
They don't live here, right? So we got to outsell that problem.
Yep.
And the way we outsell the problem, and this could be the opposite for any, you know, cold weather climates in the winter, maybe have people leave, is we run harder with our marketing during the summer than ever because the people that are showing up then, they live here. Like if they're signing up in the summer, they're going to be here next summer and the next summer, and that just grows. We did really, not last, 2 summers ago, we really blew the doors off of our May through September kind of sales, and that, well, I don't know if they're going to be here this year because of last, whatever, but because of the losses, but I don't know. That was my mindset. Like, well, hell, if we're attracting people during the months that we're down, that means these people are living here. They don't have that second, third, fourth home.
I like that too because you're aware of where the lull is in the year, and you put your time and attention and focus there because you're going to have the clients showing up regardless in the winter times here. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like though we know the people are here all winter.
Yep.
There's a lot more of them, but yeah, and then because all you're doing is raising that average of the year. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You're not whether it happens at any time of the year, it's the same thing essentially, but you're kind of evening out that wave a little bit, flattening it. Yeah.
Flatten the curves. Yep.
Curve. Huh. It is March.
All right. That's good. That's a good ending point here. So guys, if you haven't grabbed your ticket to the Gross Summit and you make over $250K a year gross, again, kind of contradicting ourselves about how gross isn't important. If you make $250,000 a year gross revenue, this summit's for you. Come join us, winninggym.com/Scottsdale. Until next episode, guys, keep changing lives. See ya.